Hello and welcome to BooTube, where I'll probably be doing a bit of everything, bit of drawing, bit of talking and things. So this is my first video and I decided that I would just do it on something that I enjoy doing, which is mandalaing, if that's even a word. I'm not absolutely sure it is, but I'm going to use it anyway. So I made a mistake right at the beginning of this that I didn't like, and I just thought, well, you know what, just carry on, because that's life. You just got to carry on and find a way of covering up that mistake or turn that mistake into something else. And in life we just have to learn from our mistakes, I guess. So yeah, mistakes are going to happen, and you just carry on through it. It will be fine. You're going to make a mistake at some point when you do stuff like this, whether it's right at the beginning or right in the middle or right at the end. And when you've put in all that hard work and thought into something, you don't want to just screw it up and start again. Already, oh yeah, there it is. I was going to say already, I can't see my mistake, but yeah, it's still there. Don't know if you guys have spotted it. I often find it easier to go in the same direction to make my lines. Everything, oh, a bit blurry there. Hopefully these videos will get better and I will be able to see my progress at editing videos as well as my art. So yeah, sometimes I find it makes the lines a bit more uniform if I kind of do them all in the same direction, and then, you know, you can see what I'm doing there. Sometimes I have no idea what's coming. I just sit at this paper and just draw whatever comes into my mind. Just let my mind go free. Sometimes I've got some ideas of some shapes I want to do, and sometimes I have no idea whatsoever. It just flows. But if you start with your circle and then do your grid every 10 degrees or every 20 degrees or wherever, how many ever degrees you want to do, depending on how small you want your grid to be or how big. And just keep adding and adding. See here, I tend to find it easier to do all the lines going that way first. Helps me keep the muscle memory in my hand for each line I'm going to do, and then come backwards and do it this way. I think I make more mistakes in this, or not necessarily mistakes, but just things that I didn't like that I later on change. Remembering to show you my pen size. It's nice to add the relief in a thinner line. A bit later on in the video I go over some lines to make them a little bit thicker, just to make them stand out more. The beauty about mandalaing is it often just sort of grows with you. It might start out as one idea and turn into something completely different. But yeah, I only started mandalaing about a year ago. It wasn't something I did every day, it was something I just picked up here and there, but the more I found it gave me a nice mental space to sit in, the more I kind of thought I need to practice this every day. And now it has become something that I do every day. I put my pen to my paper every day. even if it's just a little bit of a doodle, bit of a squiggle. It might be rubbish, it might just be a little pad at work that I decide to just sit and stick a few lines on. It doesn't have to be good. But sometimes if you're sitting down with a nice piece of paper in front of you, or you've got a nice art book, and you think, I'm going to fill this book with beautiful things. And then you sit there and you think, wow, I don't know what beautiful things to do. And what if I don't make beautiful things? What if I make a thing and it's not beautiful? And then it won't be nice in my beautiful book. But you know what? It's just paper. It's just drawing. If it looks like a whole heap of cack when you're finished with it, well, at least you practiced putting your pen to paper. And the chances are you're the only one that thinks it's cack. Sometimes I do these things. See, this bit I didn't like. I didn't like it as I was doing it, and I do change it later on. But yeah, sometimes I do a drawing and I look at it later and I think, oh God, that's terrible. I'm just going to put that away for a little bit. And then a couple of weeks later I come along and I open up my book and I go, oh, I forgot I did that. That's actually quite good. I don't hate it anymore. So yeah, my advice would always be, don't throw it away. Just leave it somewhere where you can't see it. And then the next time you see it, you might love it. And the first time you do something, it's rarely going to be fantastic. And that goes for anything in life. The first attempt at anything, you're pretty much not going to be great at it. So don't give up and just keep going. And you might be slower at picking it up than other people. But if it's something you enjoy enough, then you'll keep picking it up and you'll get to be as good as other people. There we go. Just filling all those lovely lines in, making them stand out. Yeah, so this actually led me on to doing other bits of artwork. I wouldn't say I'm a traditional artist. I can't draw people. I'm pretty bad at perspective. But that doesn't mean to say that, you know, if you're no good at drawing like a decent landscape and things like that, well, it doesn't matter. If you're not a portrait artist, you don't need to be a portrait artist. You can be a squiggly doodle artist. And there's just as much good in squiggly doodle art as there is in portrait art, I suppose. This is one in the eye for Mrs. Curry, my art teacher at school, who said that I was terrible at art. Yep. Thanks, Mrs. Curry. It put me off for a lot of years, even putting pen to paper, because you, one person, said I wasn't good enough. But now I've realised, if you love something enough, you will find your place. There, so I hid those lines. I didn't like them. I coloured it all in, and I think it stands out much better. And I made some of those other lines a bit thicker, just so they stand out a little bit more. See, so you don't need to know what you're going to do to start with, because it will just come into your mind as you're doing it. A bit like meditating whilst drawing. Just let it flow. Don't put too much thought or effort into it. It will just come. There we are. Well, thanks for watching my first video. That's me just showing you that a nice rubbery, bendable rubber, and clean it off on your hands when it gets black with the ink. so it doesn't smudge.